Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrib, and today we are doing the first of many character analysis videos for the anime Bleach. And so today we are starting off with none other than former captain of Squad 1 of the Gotei 13, Genryusai Shigekuni Yamamoto. Now, before we get into the video, please, if you guys have not subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so, as well as hit that like button as well as that notification bell so that you guys can be aware of all the content that I post every week. So, who is Genryusai Shigekuni Yamamoto? Well, he is the former captain of Squad 1 of the Gotei 13. Now, he is also the founder of the Gotei 13 well over 2100 years ago. But back then, in the early days of the Soul Society and the Gotei 13, he was basically a thug. Let's just put it like that. He was a thug, recruited a lot of people who were basically, monsters just like him, including former captain of Squad 3, Retsu Unohana. Now, back then, during the beginning stages, he basically looked at all of his subordinates as well as humans basically as expendable pawns, that he didn't care who was sacrificed, who was caught in whatever crossfire. As long as his goal was met, that's all that mattered. But he then realized that this is not the right way. And so he wound up actually training captains Joshiro Ukitake as well as Shunsui Karaku ever since they were like little children. And so he did look at them as his two sons. But there was a day where Shunsui had seen a picture of this monster hanging up on Yamamoto's wall, and so Yamamoto had explained to Shunsui that this monster was basically a very huge threat to the Soul Society back in the day, and if it ever had returned again, that's it. That's the end of the Soul Society. But little did Shunsui know that Yamamoto was referring to himself, because he did see himself as a demon. And so he began to realize that, okay, we need to set a law and order. We need function. We need a foundation. And so, of course, after the realization of that, Yamamoto basically established the Gotei 13 that we know today. And so now Yamamoto made his first appearance in the anime of episode 24 as well as the manga chapter 81. And so appearance wise, he's short in the sense because he's only 5'6", but he is bald, has long white eyebrows, as long as a long white goatee and beard. And so he has a scar right here above his left eye. And so he, you could tell that he is very, very old, but yet he still, stands strong on the sense of justice, morals, and law and order. And so during the Shinigami arc, when Ichigo, Chad, Orihime, and Uryu had to go to the Soul Society to rescue Rukia, he basically just called it out an all-out war, because the Ryoka, as Ichigo and his friends were called, were basically trespassing, into a land that they were not supposed to be a part of. And so he was a very, he actually had a backbone. Let's just put it like that. He had a backbone to where there in one of the episodes, there was a scene where Ichigo was trying to get into the Serete, and so the gatekeeper Jijambo wind up, kind of stopping Ichigo, but they wound up dueling. Jijambo lost, and so right when Jijambo was opening the gate to let Ichigo and everybody in, here is Captain Gin Ichimaru just standing there waiting, and so as if he knew that this is where they were going to be at. But instead of killing the Ryoka like Yamamoto had ordered everybody to, Gin wind up just letting them live, and just kind of let them go. So during the captain meeting, Gin wound up actually getting into an argument with Captain Kenpachi Zaraki as well as Mayuri Korosuchi. But Yamamoto basically, of course scolded everybody, but, told Gin, look, this is what I told you to do. You didn't do what I asked you to, so we're going to talk about your punishment later. So I need everybody to just get on out of here because we got other matters to attend to. So with that, after all of that happened, that's when we find out that Captain Sosuke Aizen, Captain Gin Ichimaru, as well as Captain Tosen Kaname, or Kaname Tosen, they were the enemies this entire time. And so head captain, before it was actually realized that Gin, Tosen, and Aizen were the enemies, they set up Rukia's execution on Sokyoku Hill. And of course Ukitake as well as Shunsui wind up stopping said execution. Here comes Ichigo, rescuing Rukia. So basically it was everybody against everybody. And so Genryusai wind up getting into a fight with Ukitake as well as Shunsui over the fact that they basically, it was considered treason. And so Yamamoto is there's a reason as to why he is the head captain of the Gotei 13. He takes off his captain's jacket as well as his Soul Reaper uniform, and you can tell that his body is completely riddled with a lot of scars. Now, we don't know exactly how many battles he has been in, but you can tell that he has fought a very, very long time ago for a very, very long time, and he is not about to back down. And so now, to explain exactly how powerful Yamamoto is, for whatever reason, Shunsui took his lieutenant Nanao with him, and Ukitake as well as Shunsui, they were able to stand up against Yamamoto. But all Yamamoto did was look Nanao dead in her eyes. Now in the manga, Nanao literally, tears running down her face, she basically collapsed onto the ground, and so foam started to form at her mouth, and all Yamamoto did was just release his spiritual pressure, and that was the result. But in the anime, of course, they did have to tone it down a little bit, and so she kind of just fell, eyes watering, fell to the ground. And so Karaku had to basically pick her up and take her to somewhere safe using his flash step. And so Yamamoto winds up, of course, fighting his two sons, and was basically pulling no punches. There was no holds barred. But that's when later down the line, we also find out that that's when it was revealed that Aizen, Tosen, and Gin were the main enemies. And so everybody came back to figure out, what was going on. And so after pretty much after everything was cleared, Rukia got her name cleared and stuff like that, Yamamoto did allow the Ryoka to go back home and stuff like that. But during the execution process, Yamamoto did ask Rukia, did she have any last words? And all she wanted was to just make sure that Rukia, Orihime, Chad, as well as Uryu go home safely. And so Yamamoto did let Rukia know, I promise, I will let them return home safe. And so, come to find out, that was a lie, because Captain Unohana had let her lieutenant know, her Lieutenant Isane, that those are just words of comfort. Yamamoto has no intention on letting the Ryoka go home safely. He only said that to Rukia so that she can die with a sense of comfort. And so that right there goes to show that Yamamoto does have a compassionate side. Now, during the Arrancar arc, we do learn, as well as see, that Yamamoto has kind of laxed a little bit. Now, he's still a man of, higher stature, law and order, as well as a moral code of justice. But he has, kind of relaxed a little bit, because he did, soon learn, because of Aizen's betrayal, that what you see is not exactly what it is that you see. And so, when the Arrancars started making their appearance, started, attacking, so forth, Yamamoto had set up a task force of Rangiku, Toshiro, as well as Ikaku, and then Yumichika. Now, Ikaku and Yumichika are Captain Kenpachi Zaraki's lieutenant, no, not lieutenant, I'm sorry, Yachiru is his lieutenant. They're his two seated officers, but Toshiro Hitsugaya is captain, and Rangiku Matsumoto is Toshiro's lieutenant. And so they were, sent to the world of the living to, kind of keep track of what's going on, while everybody, took care of everything else in the Soul Society. And so now, what I personally believe, I don't know if anybody else has, looked at it like this, or, even thought about this theory. I personally believe that Gin Ichimaru was playing the double agent the entire time. He betrayed the Soul Society to stick with Aizen, but he was basically letting Yamamoto know of Aizen's every move. Now, there's a reason why I say that, because during the Wako Mundo arc, when Ukiura Shifa Espada number 4, I believe it is number 4. I think Ukiura is 4. I think. If I'm wrong, if I am wrong, please feel free to comment to let me know. Even though Ukiura is one of my favorite Espadas, I can't believe I can't remember what his Espada ranking is. But when Ukiura was sent by Aizen to kidnap Orihime, everybody thought that Orihime basically left to join Aizen's forces on her own will. So, of course, she was deemed as an enemy. Yamamoto didn't want anybody to go to the Soul Society or to Wako Mundo to do what needs to be done to rescue Orihime, right? Well, of course, Ichigo doesn't listen because, he's a 15-year-old boy that, goes in, like, he'll attack first and then, ask questions later, figure out the consequences, like, right after. But I guess that Yamamoto knew that that Ichigo was going to go and bring his own task force with him. So come to find out that Rukia and Renji wound up going as well. I guess Yamamoto found out and, was like, oh my God, I tell these people not to do something and they do exactly what I tell them not to do. So what he did was that he specifically sent captains to Wako Mundo. He sent Mayuri Kodasuchi, Byakuya Kuchiki, as well as Retsu Unohana. And so the reason why I believe that he sent those specific captains, Byakuya, so that to make sure that Rukia is okay. Mayuri, just because that, Espada number 8, Zaraparo Grants, is a scientist as well. So of course, old man Yama was like, well, you know what, I'll just send Mayuri out there because, he probably might have a field day and stuff. And so then, of course, Unohana, so that if there was any injured casualties in Wako Mundo, she can heal them, bring them back to the world of the living and or the Soul Society. And so I do believe that he did that because Gin had been keeping him up to date and informed behind closed doors. And so now during the Fake Karakura Town arc, this is when Yama, not necessarily shows his full power, but actually shows what it is that, he can do. Now, he encased Aizen, Tosen, and Gin, in a like a ring of fire. I forgot the name of said attack, but nobody was able to get in or out, said attack. And so while everybody, dispersed to go, fight who they needed to, Espada 3, Tier Haribel, her 3 Fraction, Sun Sun, Apache, Esmira Rose, they have this attack to where, or this, not attack, it's a technique that they have to where they'll detach their left arm and it'll combine to form this like chimera type beast called Ion. Well, Izuru Kira, as well as Shuhei Higasagi, were fighting Ion, but he got the better of them. So here comes old man Yama, and he blatantly says, how dare you cause the head captain to step out on the front lines against a weak beast like this? After that, I was just like, okay. So now the thing is, we get to see how laxed and more laid back yet compassionate Yamamoto is, because he did, have pity, did have pity for Ion, because he said that you are nothing more than a brainless beast who basically acts on instinct, and all you know how to do is kill. So of course, he defeats Ion, but then of course out of compassion, because Sun Apache, as well as Mira Rose, were women. Even though they were his enemies, he didn't kill them, but he just scorched them real good. And so of course they were still alive, just severely badly burnt. But you get to see that Yama was a man of sacrifice, because he did sacrifice his left arm, with trying to stop Aizen, head on and stuff. And so, of course, that didn't work. But he also wind up, fighting Aizen's. I guess with this Aran card, I guess you could say it was like a beta version or a beta project, Wonder Weiss. And so with Wonder Weiss, he was an Aran card that basically had no speech. His cognitive skills were sacrificed. He never had any emotions. All he knew to do was just fight. But then at the same time, his sole purpose was to relinquish the powers of Yamamoto, Zanpakuto, Ryujin, Jika. And so now Wonder Weiss has a childlike appearance and stuff. He has the snagger tooth, the big blue eyes, the messy hair and stuff, but yet he can't talk and stuff. He basically has that, that baby kind of sound like like that. And so you see Yama's compassion, because he said that I cannot fight a creature like you because you look like a child. I will not fight a child. But then when Wonder Weiss basically goes into his released form, then that's when Yama, had, his whole mood has switched and was like, okay, well, you look like this, I won't feel so bad afterwards. So, boom. But after the Fake Kura Town arc, once Aizen, was defeated and stuff, everybody went, to their, normal lives. Now, I won't get into the non-canon appearances of Yama, like the Zanpakuto Rebellion arc, as well as the Gigai and Regai arc. I'm only doing the actual canon anime and the canon manga. And so now doing the Lost Agent arc, which is the arc where Ichigo gets his Soul Reaper powers back, we learn and stuff that because Yama is a man of nobility, law and order, as well as justice, he is also very proud. Now, Yama doesn't like to get others involved when it comes to the matters of the Soul Society. So even though Ichigo did help in the fight against Aizen and whatnot, he wasn't, looking for Ichigo and everybody else to help, because it was a matter of the Gotei 13 and a matter of the Soul Society. So he wasn't looking for humans to get involved. Doesn't mean he didn't appreciate them helping, but he just didn't directly ask them to, join in said fight. Well, because with Ichigo's final technique called the final Getsuga Tensho, or the Morgets, Ichigo wind up losing his Soul Reaper abilities. And so during the Lost Agent arc, Yama never really made that big of an appearance, but after Ichigo lost his Soul Reaper abilities, he wound up getting them back with a special sword that Yama had granted Kisuke Uehara to use. And so he also told the other captains to put their Ryatsu into the sword so that Ichigo can get his powers back. And so after Ichigo wind up defeating the enemy Ginjo of that arc, he informed, I believe it was Renji, he informed to bring Genjo's body back, because come to find out, Genjo was the very first substitute Shinigami. But after they brought Genjo's body back to the Soul Society, Ichigo winds up making his appearance, and he just humbly asks to bring Genjo's body from the Soul Society back to the world of the living. And so, of course, Yama, did realize, okay, he probably just thought long and hard about this. I know he didn't, just make this rash decision to ask me this on his own. So I will grant him that. And so you do see that, Yama is a very compassionate person, even though he still upholds the law of the Soul Society the way that it needs to be held. Now, his final appearance in the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. Come to find out that there's been an enemy that Yama had fought over 1,000 years ago. The father of all Quincy's, Yuha Bak. Now, back then, during said fight, for whatever reason, Yama didn't kill Yuha. Now, I do personally believe that Yama, was strong enough to kill Yuha, but then at the same time, and this is just the way that I think, if Yama did kill Yuha back then of course Masaki wouldn't wouldn't be here, which in turn Ichigo wouldn't be alive, Uryu wouldn't be alive. So it's like the Quincy's pretty much would be non-existent. But I guess you could say that, Yama's, I don't want to say his lack of how do I want to say this? I know that he was self-aware of how powerful he was, but I would guess that you could say that the reason why Yama didn't kill Yuha back then is because there probably would have been some, cataclysmic results in the end, to where the Soul Society probably would have been more destroyed or whatever. So that's why Yama didn't kill Yuha. But that's just my personal opinion. If I did miss anything with that, feel free to comment below to let me know, what's going on and stuff. But after the Soul Society was attacked and Yama found out that his lieutenant, Chojuro Sasakibe, was killed, as well as his bankai was stolen, you can look at the manga pages, and this is what I love about TiteKubo, is that the way he draws his characters, you can, not only can you see the emotion that he draws, but you can actually feel them as well. Me personally, I felt the emotion that Yama was going through when his lieutenant bankai was, when he found out they were stolen, but yet it was also used against him. You could tell that Yama was hurt. Yama was in pain that his best friend, his subordinate, his second or his third son, was killed. And of course, with that, you knew that Yama wasn't thinking rationally. He wanted that demon to come back out. And so, of course, Yuha made his appearance, in the Soul Society. And so, of course, Yama goes to fight Yuha, but it was a very easy fight, though. Yeah, the fight did last for a little bit, not too long, but it wasn't completely short either. But come to find out that the Yuha that Yama has, basically just defeated, was actually an imposter. And so when the real Yuha shows up, that's when, you know, the actual fight goes down. Now, I do like this fight, but yet I hated it at the same time, because really, really, to be honest, I think that Kubo wind up making Yuha just a little bit too overpowered, because Yama goes into his bankai, and that it just did not work at all. Yuha basically just stopped his bankai and stuff, and basically wind up killing Yamamoto. And what he did was, Yuha basically, you know, slashed, and from right here on his left side of his shoulder all the way down to his waist was basically bisected, and so his top half wound up falling off. And when I saw that for the first time, you know, in a chapter, I was just like, dude. And of course, you know, Yama being, you know, strong-willed, he was still alive, wound up grabbing Yuha by his ankle to try to stop him. And of course, Yuha just disintegrated his entire body with an energy blast. And the only thing of Yama that was left was his Zanpakuto, Ryujin Jaka, but it was basically, guess you could say destroyed, broken up. And so after that, we also found out that come to find out, Yamamoto knew he was going to die, and so he pulled no stops when it came to his fight. So he left a letter for Shunsui, making Shunsui Karaku the new head captain of Squad 1 of the Gotei 13. And so we begin to see what, like, the way, okay, so the way that I'm putting this is that we slowly begin to see Yama's downfall from the Soul Society arc all the way to the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. Now, even though Yama, you know, stood strong, kept his backbone, and made sure that the laws of the Soul Society was upheld, he allowed you can see he allowed his emotions as well as his compassion and love for others get in the way of his mental stability. Now, what I mean by that is, case in point, when Sasakibe was killed, he let his emotions get the head of him, or get the better of him, and so he wasn't thinking rationally of, you know, with the mindset of, I have an enemy right now, I will mourn later, let me take care of this enemy, let me get my my recruits so that we can do what needs to be done for all the casualties that were lost. We can mourn their loss later. But no, he was mourning Sasakibe as he was fighting. So of course his anger got the better of him, his sadness got the better of him, his mental stability was just all over the place. And so that's where we saw said downfall. And I was saddened at the fact that because of that, that is how he let his guard down to be killed. Now, if he would have, you know, been the demon that he was back then and would have died a more honorable death, then I would have actually been okay with that. But the fact that Kubo wrote his emotions to get the better of him, Yuha took advantage of that, and that is what killed Genryusai. That right there, me personally, that is not what, you know, stuck with me, you know, in a good way. And so we do also find out that Yama may or may not be in hell you know, with the new Hell chapter that came out about what 2-3 weeks ago. And so now with the new Hell chapter, if you guys hadn't seen my video discussion on that, make sure you go give that a looking at and you know, check that video out as well. But there very well could be a possibility that, you know, Yama is in, you know, hell due to the strong Ryatsu that he does, you know, or that he did possess when he was alive. And so now Yama is, I won't say Yama is one of my favorite captains and stuff like that. Like he's, I do like him. Let's just put it like that. I do like him. Like he's not my favorite, but he's not my least favorite, if that makes sense. And so, you know, he is like a father figure to everybody. You know, he makes sure that the laws are upheld. He makes sure that everybody, you know, is comfortable. He makes sure that everybody, you know, is, even though he might not show that he might love and care about his captains under him, but he might not blatantly say it or show it, but he has his ways to let you know and stuff. And so, you know, Yama, you know, was a very, very, you know, powerful protagonist. You know, even though he was, I guess you could say, considered a side character next to Ichigo. But I am going to end this video here. Thank you guys for coming in. I am going to have so much fun doing these character analysis videos, and I really do hope that you guys do come in and join me as well. And so, you know, feel free to comment the next character analysis that you want me to do, because I am planning on going in order from Captain of Squad 1 all the way to Captain of Squad 13. But if you guys want me to just go out of order, I possibly don't mind doing that. Just, you know, comment below which captain you want me to do next. And so again, if you guys hadn't subscribed to my channel, please feel free to do so, as well as make sure that you do hit that notification bell so that you guys can be updated, as well as the first to know of all the content just like this that I post every week. So with that being said, this has been your boy Scrib. I love you guys, my fans, as well as my subscribers. Please, thank you for allowing me to come in and, you know, do this type of content with you guys. And I will see you guys next week.